AITA for not inviting my boyfriend to my graduation dinner because of what he said to my dad? So I, 19F, just graduated college early, yay me. My family is super close-knit, especially me and my dad. He's a single dad who basically gave up everything to raise me. Like, this man worked 2 jobs when I was in high school so I could do extracurriculars and not worry about anything. We're tight. Anyway, I've been dating Jake, 22M, for about 8 months. He's funny, a bit sarcastic, and usually great to be around. We've had ups and downs, but nothing major until last week. My dad threw me a small graduation dinner. Just close family and a couple of my best friends. Jake was going to be invited, but the day before the dinner, he came over to help me pick an outfit and ended up chatting with my dad. I wasn't in the room the whole time, but I heard them laughing at first, then voices got lower. Later, when Jake left, my dad pulled me aside and said, "I don't like how he talks to me." I asked what happened, and apparently Jake had said something like, "You must be glad your job as a dad is finally over," in a joking way. My dad apparently just smiled and changed the subject, but I could tell it really hurt him. He's sensitive about that kind of stuff, and honestly, so am I. When I texted Jake about it, he doubled down and said my dad was being too emotional and that it's not that deep. That rubbed me the wrong way. My dad has never asked for anything, and this dinner was a big deal for him. So I made the choice to not invite Jake. I didn't tell him until the day of, and he blew up saying I was choosing my dad over him and that I'm immature for ghosting him for a stupid dinner. I told him he needed to apologize to my dad first before being welcome around my family again. He said I'm being dramatic and that my dad needs to grow up. So, now he's barely speaking to me, and some of my friends are split. A couple say I did the right thing, others think I should have still let him come and talked it out after.
Relevant comment. Fancy, requirement 536. NTA. I think you can do better than Jake. He's showing some big red flags. Ups and downs after only 8 months? You should still be in the honeymoon phase with way more ups than downs. Everything he said to your dad is troublesome. Your dad will always be your dad and his job as a parent is never over. Of course you're going to choose your dad over him. The fact that he won't apologize or even acknowledge his obnoxious comments is a real problem. I think you're starting to see that Jake is manipulative, jealous, and controlling. His comments are rubbing you the wrong way, so trust your gut. You know what he said was inappropriate and his reaction to you calling him out on his behavior is a problem as well. He didn't deserve to be at the dinner, and he doesn't deserve to have you as a GF. It doesn't matter what your friends say, they don't have to deal with him the way you do. Move on from Jake. Celebrate with your dad and enjoy the dinner.
Update. Hey Reddit, I didn't think this would get much attention, but thanks for all the responses. I read a lot of them, even the brutally honest ones, lol. A bunch of people asked for an update, so here we go. So after the whole graduation dinner situation, I gave Jake some space. I thought maybe he just needed time to cool off and think things through. I was still upset, but I genuinely hoped he'd come around, maybe even reach out to apologize to my dad. He didn't. Instead, the day after the dinner, he posted some cryptic IG story like black screen, white text, classic drama saying something like some people value performative loyalty over real love. Face with rolling eyes, okay, philosopher. I ignored it. But then, my cousin, who was at the dinner and follows Jake, messaged me asking if everything was okay, because apparently Jake was replying to comments under that story with eye roll emojis whenever someone mentioned family or dads. At that point, I was like, what are we doing here? So I texted him one more time. I said, hey, I need to know where you stand. If you still think what you said wasn't a big deal and you don't want to apologize, then maybe this just isn't going to work. He read it. Didn't reply. Left me on read for 3 days. Then, out of nowhere, he sent me this long paragraph saying I clearly have unresolved daddy issues, and that he should have known I'd always prioritize the first man in my life over any future ones. Y'all. My jaw was on the floor. Not only was that wildly disrespectful, it proved exactly why I made the right choice. I told him we were done. Blocked his number. Told my friends what he said, and even the ones who thought I was being too harsh before were like, you know, he sucks. And my dad? He didn't even know half of this was happening, but when I told him, in a very PG way, he just said, you deserve someone who respects all of you including where you come from. Anyway. Single now. Degree in hand. Peace restored. And my dad and I went out for pancakes the next morning and laughed about how I almost invited a man who beefs with father figures to a family dinner face with tears of joy. Thanks for the advice, Reddit. Some of y'all saved me from wasting more time.